Police are looking for the person who opened fire on a driver near a busy interstate. Find out what investigators are saying happened. We are checking for the latest from a late-night armed robbery at a popular restaurant chain. And distracted driving is getting to be such a big problem across the country. One community has taken dramatic action. You'll want to see this one. News 4 at noon starts right now.
Live from KMOV, News 4 is covering breaking news.
That breaking news right off the top is out of North St. Louis. Our crews are en route to a double shooting. Police sources tell me 2 men were both shot in the legs. That's as police investigate a slew of overnight shootings. We just got new information on a shooting near Interstate 70 overnight. Police say 3 men in their 20s were in a car being chased by unknown suspects. Those suspects opened fire, hitting a 21-year-old driver several times in the back. He is now in critical condition. Those 2 other victims ran away and were located on North Broadway. However, the other 2 victims told police that this chase actually started here on Linton. This is less than half a mile from where the other victim was found on Adelaide. We saw a car there with multiple bullet holes. No one is in custody. We are checking with investigators for the latest on an overnight homicide. Right around 1 o'clock this morning, police were called to the 4100 block of Bingham. That is in South St. Louis. There they found a man shot to death inside a car. Police have not given any suspect description. This was the 3rd homicide in less than 18 hours in the city of St. Louis. News 4 is getting new information on a shooting investigation in North St. Louis County. County police say someone opened fire during a party. It happened in the 2000 block of Empire Court. Right around 2 o'clock this morning, a 16-year-old was shot. He was taken to the hospital with a gunshot wound in the back. When we do get more information about this case, we will bring it to you. And a scary situation for people getting a late-night bite to eat. Police are investigating an armed robbery at the Denny's restaurant in South St. Louis. It is near 44 in Hampton. Police tell us the suspect walked in with a gun, demanded money from the register, and ran off. No one was hurt, and so far, no suspect description has been released. News 4 has also learned about a strange string of carjackings in the Metro East. East St. Louis police want people to be on high alert when driving through the area. There are 2 different scenarios actually playing out. First off, one person lies in the street. Then when a car stops, another jumps from a nearby bush and robs the driver at gunpoint. In the other scenario, people in a car are at a stop sign. They hop out and rob the driver who pulls up behind them. The incidents were first reported in the outer State Street area, another one on the north side near the Roosevelt homes. No one has been hurt in recent cases, but if you do come across this scenario, police say you should try to go around the person or back up and find another way. Then, when you get to a safe spot, call 911. On this first Monday in August, it is time to check in with meteorologist Matt Chambers. And Matt, it feels pretty good outside.
Yeah, I'd say Monday's being pretty kind to us so far. If this is any trend of what's to come in August, I'm on board.
All right, thank you, Matt. News 4 tracking more crime for you. We've learned about a Metro bus driver assaulted in South St. Louis while a passenger was on the bus. Happened right around midnight near the area of Gravway and Itasca. Right now, police have not released many details about the assault, but we do know the driver refused treatment and the suspect ran away. The sole passenger on the bus, who is not the suspect, was taken to their destination by a Metro supervisor. You can depend on News 4 to bring you any developments in this case. Valdes City police are asking for your help to find the man who dragged a police officer during a traffic stop Friday night. Police say it happened when the officer stopped the man on Maywood and Myron. Well, shortly after that stop, police say the driver pulled away, taking the officer with him. Crews nearby tried to stop the driver, but they say the car was just driving too fast. The officer suffered minor injuries. Anyone with information on the driver should call police. We're also learning more about the shooting of a 3-year-old little boy in North St. Louis. The child was hurt Friday night at Natural Bridge and Goodfellow. Police tell us 4 men pulled up next to the car in which the boy was riding and opened fire. The toddler was grazed by a bullet on his lower back. The driver was hit in the foot. Police say they are searching for a blue Nissan Sentra. If you have information on that shooting, call St. Louis Police. A News 4 crew is on the scene of this fire on East Adams and Cahokia. In fact, 2 vacant homes went up in flames early this morning. Crews tell us one of the houses caught fire just before 3 o'clock. Those flames were big enough that they eventually ignited the second home. No word on what started those fires. A reminder for those of you that drive in the Metro East, Illinois State Police say they plan to increase patrols in St. Clair and Madison counties in the month of August. They will be focusing on safety belt and child safety seat laws. Officials say more than half of the people killed in car crashes were not properly buckled up. And speaking of driving, every day about 660,000 drivers become distracted. Cell phones and other electronic devices are a major reason why. Ben Tracy reports now one California city is taking a new approach to stop the potentially deadly problem. Here's an interesting fact. When a driver texts, they take their eyes off the road for an average of 5 seconds. That's like covering the length of an entire football field blindfolded. Today, President Obama will unveil stricter greenhouse gas cuts to U.S. power plants. He's calling it the most important step ever taken to combat climate change. The Clean Power Plan will require plants to reduce carbon emission numbers recorded back in 2005. They'll have 15 years to lower emissions by 32%. Energy companies say they plan to legally challenge that initiative. Still ahead on News 4 at noon, severe weather strikes in the Midwest. We will let you know what damage this twister and other severe storms caused in about 6 minutes. Coming up right after the break, a huge recall from Kraft on something almost all of us have in our refrigerators. And we are looking west down Market Street from our First Cloverleaf Bank Eye on St. Louis camera on this Monday, August 3rd. News 4 at noon. We'll be right back. News 4 continues following breaking news. Police are on the scene of a double shooting in North St. Louis. Our Russell Kinsaw just arrived with the Bommarito Street Fleet. So Russell, what can you tell us? Thank you, Russell. Just one of several shootings that News 4 is following. If you've got slices of Kraft singles in the fridge, well, we've got a recall you need to know about. Kraft is recalling 36,000 cases of individually wrapped cheese slices. That's because they may be a choking hazard if a thin strip of the packaging film gets stuck to the cheese. The voluntary recall involves 3-pound and 4-pound boxes, specifically of Kraft Singles American and White American pasteurized cheese. The affected products have a best when used by date of between December 29, 2015 and January 4, 2016. That is followed by a manufacturing code, either S54 or S55. It's a dramatic sight. Flames just burning out of control. This fire is putting lives in danger. We'll have the latest on News 4 at noon right after the break. We are seeing incredible video out of New York State when a runaway train car slams into a train platform. This all happened last month. The runaway car sending people who were waiting on that train platform just running for their lives. Investigators say it was actually a 13-year-old boy that somehow got into the empty rail car and accidentally set it into motion. We've also been tracking severe storms in Iowa and northern Illinois, one of them creating this bright white tornado.
Look at this, it's really grown, but it's straight to the east of us now. Oh, wow.
Quite an amazing sight there in Iowa, just southwest of Des Moines. You can see a cloud of dust and debris at the base of that twister as it tears across the landscape. Wind and hail damage were also seen around the area. Luckily, no one was hurt. And go ahead and check out these aerials from Grays Lake, Illinois. You can see the path of destruction. Cars just flipped over, trees down, and roofs damaged. In one case, you can see completely into the upstairs of a building because the roof is totally gone. And not far from there, officials are checking out the damage to this school's roof. Grays Lake is just north of Chicago. The National Weather Service is investigating to see if a confirmed tornado touched down.
Winds in St. Louis, meanwhile, have shifted. If you're interested in finding out about adopting Sasha, go to the Animal Protective Association on South Hanley or KMOV.com.
What a cutie.
I think Sasha uses a good conditioner because that dog's coat was the softest thing I think I'd ever felt. Very sweet dog.
And she's a Chihuahua Beagle.
Yeah.
So is that a
Sheweagle?
Sheweagle?
It is now. It's official. We just
If
made it up.
someone adopts it, let us know what it's officially called. Hopefully she finds a great home. All right, Matt and I will be right back with the answer to the fun fact. Here it is. What warning do skunks give predators before spraying? That answer is next, only on News 4 at noon. All right, take a look at your screen if you can, because caught on camera, a Michigan police officer comes to the aid of a baby skunk and nearly pays a big price for the trouble. Now, it happened in the Detroit suburb of Rochester. The officer stopped to help the little skunk that got its head stuck in a discarded yogurt container. The officer approaches carefully. He is finally able to grab the cup and pull it off the critter's head. But then he has to jump back quickly because the unappreciative skunk tries to spray him. A close call for that officer, and we are sticking with the skunks for today's fun fact.
If you are lucky, my friends, you might get a warning from a skunk before getting sprayed. Do you know what skunks do to warn predators?
The answer, skunks stamp their front feet, lift their tail, and growl. Some species even spring into a handstand before spraying. If you've ever been sprayed, you know the stink can last for days. Thanks for joining us for News 4 at noon. Have a great afternoon.